how much of the higher inflation forecast for this year is due to tariffs? And since the policy path remains the same, are you effectively reading this as a one-time price level shock?
Okay, so how much of it is tariff? So let me say that it is going to be very difficult to have a precise assessment of how much of inflation is coming from tariffs and from other, and that's already the case. You may have seen that goods inflation moved up pretty significantly in the first 2 months of the year. Trying to track that back to actual tariff increases, given what was tariffed and what was not, very, very challenging. So some of it, the answer is clearly some of it. A good part of it is coming from tariffs, but we'll be working, and so will other forecasters, to try to find the best possible way to separate non-tariff inflation from tariff inflation.
So Trump's tariffs will cause inflation to rise, which is really something considering this is the kind of stuff that Trump would spew on the campaign trail.
Kamala's inflation nightmare has, think of this, has cost the typical American family $30,000. Think of that one. Higher prices because the inflation's just raised. And you know, it started when they played around with my energy. I had no inflation. We had the greatest energy we've ever had. I was going to have it 4 times higher by now. And we're going to do that, but we got a little bit of a delay and we were going to have it 4 times higher. We were going to take care of Asia. We were going to take care of Europe. We're going to make a fortune, start paying down debt. We have $35 trillion in debt. We're going to lower your taxes. I gave you the largest tax cut in the history of our country and the largest regulation cuts. And we were able to do more. Thank you. Thank you.
So I think I'm understanding inflation is only okay when a Republican is responsible for it. If Trump is actually worried about the economic ruination of America, he might recognize that the call is coming from inside the House. It is his policies that are causing prices to rise and the economy to falter. And in fact, when his own administration is questioned on it, they perpetuate the myth that there's no adverse impact from tariffs since the whole cost is eaten by the exporters.
There's a J.P. Morgan Chase report that estimated the average American household cost was $600 per year. What do you say to Americans who are watching right now if the price of goods rise because of these tariffs?
Let's remind everybody watching that when we put on the steel and aluminum tariffs in 2018, we did not have inflation. We had price stability and we had prosperity.
Prices did go up on some goods, though. Yeah. They did go up on some goods, according to what I see right now from Goldman Sachs, bedding, furniture, laundry equipment.
As far as I'm concerned, anything that comes out of Goldman Sachs or some of these think tanks, they have an agenda. I don't believe them. But let me just quickly tell you, when tariffs come, you have the price adjustment by the exporters. They have to lower their prices in order to hold on to their market share. You have the currency adjustments that take place as part of the market adjustment, but also through currency manipulation by the government.
How about that? Whenever any facts strike this administration as inconvenient, they get to just pretend that they don't exist. Peter Navarro doesn't like what JP Morgan has to say, and just like that, JP Morgan is no longer a valid source. Lucky, huh? But even Trump can't escape reality sometimes. He took to Truth Social a couple of weeks back and wrote, Walmart should stop trying to blame tariffs as the reason for raising prices throughout the chain. Walmart made billions of dollars last year, far more than expected. Between Walmart and China, they should, as is said, eat the tariffs and not charge valued customers anything. I'll be watching and so will your customers. Which is super weird, because I was told by the ultimate authority on tariffs and trade, Donald J. Trump himself, that foreign countries pay tariffs that are imposed by the U.S.
A tariff is a tax on a foreign country. That's the way it is, whether you like it or not. A lot of people like to say, oh, it's a tax or else. No. It's a tax on a foreign country. It's a tax on a country that's ripping us off and stealing our jobs. And it's a tax that doesn't affect our country. And you could see hundreds of billions of dollars of tariffs on other countries also.
Pretty unequivocal. And so armed with the apparent fact that tariffs are a tax on foreign countries, why in the world would Walmart need to, quote, eat the tariffs if they're not being paid by Walmart or any American company, but rather by China or some foreign country? And the reality is, and always has been, that foreign countries do not pay tariffs importing companies do, which makes sense because we can't make foreign countries pay us. Our IRS doesn't impose taxes on another country. We don't have access to their treasury. All we can do is impose tariffs from the goods coming from those countries into ours, but what happens is that American companies pay the tariffs to gain possession of the goods, and then they pass those costs onto their customers. We are the customers, Americans. In other words, tariffs on foreign countries are in effect a tax paid by Americans, period. And Trump's Truth Social post saying that Walmart in China should eat the tariffs is a direct admission that American companies do pay the tariffs. Why would Walmart need to eat anything if, as Trump has repeatedly claimed, China's the one paying? They wouldn't. So look, Trump will continue to step on his own talking points. He'll continue to contradict himself. He'll continue to lie. But the truth here is obvious. His trade war is a disaster. They are making everything more expensive, and more importantly, he is not winning in any sense of the word. There are no countries sprinting to the negotiating table because they know what Wall Street already knows, that Taco Trump will always chicken out because he has no leverage. He is economically illiterate, but too proud to admit it. And so he continues to barrel ahead with his disastrous policies, despite the fact that we are now the only country in the industrialized world with an economy that is contracting. So if Trump is looking out for the guy responsible for ushering in economic ruination, he might want to consult a mirror.